Welcome back to episode 104. So in this week's episode, what I want to do is concentrate on stripping down more and more around the back here, get that rear suspension off, get all the CV joints apart, everything like that. And if I'm lucky, I'm going to get the powder coated stuff back and start putting the things back together. I don't know how far through I'm going to get. Summer holidays, kids floating around the house makes it quite hard to do any work. So videos have slowed down a bit, I'm afraid. But normal service will resume as soon as kids go back to school. So let's dive in then this week. Please remember, click the like button, click subscribe, leave me comments. But let's just get in and see how much I can get done. Right, well, let's clean up jobs go. This is probably one of the muckiest ones I've ever done. It's cleaning up these CV joints from the rear half shafts. So I'm trying some white spirit. I've tried brake cleaner. I've got about half a can left. Brake cleaner does it really good. The problem is it's expensive and I don't have much left. So what I'm using now is white spirit in the smallest tub I could probably find, which doesn't make it any easier. But I'm just going to quickly try and disassemble it like that. Let's take the main part away. And I'm using a toothbrush. So it pretty much just dissolves the grease. So it's going to be mucky whatever I do here. I'm just agitating it by hand, and I'll take them out. Let's sort of line them up here. This is the ball bearings. So 6 confirmed, and the last big piece. And what I've been doing then is using brake cleaner on the last. Kind of just to spray off any final bits. Right, and I'll show you how I've been putting mine together. I need to double check actually, but I'm putting them back together so I don't lose the parts and sort of mix them up. But the inner side with the little recess line there, I've been matching up with the side that's got the recess cut around the top there. So let's just pop that together then. So taking the middle piece and putting it inside the center like that. I just pop one ball in and just rotate it enough like that. Now the outside piece has got a thick, a thin, a thick, a thin and a thick, and I align opposites. So my thick is going to align with the outer thin. So there's an outer thin and there's an inner thick, so I'm going to put it in like that. Pick the whole thing up and then I rotate roughly opposite. Drop a ball bearing in, same again, like that, and then just work around those last 3, sort of rotating it enough to be able to drop it in. And the last one, like that, and that's together. And that doesn't fall apart, and it has the sort of the correct CV joint movement. Right, and the last of these CV joint tidy ups, actually you can see just how clunked up that is with the old grease. It's really, it moves fine, but it's really slow. Now what I want to do is just inspect. Yeah, so the correct way to put these together is the outside has got a ridge cut in it. I'm sure you can probably see that ridge. And the inside has got a recessed line cut around the top there. Those have got to be on the same side. Let's take this on apart, which you do just by turning it like that, and all the balls drop out. Drop them into my brake fluid, which I won't lie is really grubby now. Right, we need to just kind of scrub it out, do what we can. I'm getting low on brake cleaner now, so I just kind of want to try and scrape off as much as I can, and then we'll fire it off with the brake cleaner. So I'll wipe that down with a rag just to get it clean, a clean rag this time, and we'll put it back together. Right, so I've got all of the parts back from the powder coater. They come back fantastic. Really pleased with those. There's a lot of the suspension components, the springs and stuff all come back. But we've got the anti-roll bar at the moment, and I'm going to refit some anti-roll bar bushers. So I'm using the Powerflex Heritage Collection. They do another one that is bright purple. I didn't really like the colour, so I stuck with those. I think they're about 40 quid, something like that. Nothing too crazy. And I was in debate whether I should actually fit the bar in first and then slide these on. But I'm actually going to put them on now. I can drop the transmission that little bit extra to get them on. I mean, they came off, so, or the bar came out with these on, so it should be fine. A little bit of grease just to help lubricate, and they need to go down and sit about there and there either side. Interestingly, mine only has one, if you can see that. So the light's not very good today, is it? I've only got one sort of these nodules. I see some have two to sort of position it a bit better, but that's what mine's got. And I guess these just go up to it rather than across the other side. I guess let's just put it on and we'll see. I need to get it to there anyway, even if I'm going to go over the little ridge to the other side anyway. So let's try. So I'm trying not to scratch it. Let's have a little bit of grease. I'm going to actually put it on the inside of the bushing. Someone did tell me it's not bush, is it? Is it bushing or bushes? Bushing? Bushing. Shows what my memory's like. Oh, hello. Okay, it's not hard to put on. Right. Probably don't actually need that much grease. So that's one side. So seeing how easy that is to get on, I could probably... okay. Let's just squeeze this one on. Yeah, I could probably do this in situ if it proves to be a problem. Let's get it on the car. Let's just do it like that. It's fine, isn't it? I'm going to quickly look up whether it should be the other side of that ridge first. But that was pretty straightforward, wasn't it? Right, so anti-roll bar or rear sway bar orientation. So what we need to do is work out which way round does this go. Does it go that way or rotate the whole thing over and it goes, you know, the other way round? From what I can see then, I'm going to try to explain it so you can tell. Looking at these, if I just put it on the side, there's both sides have got this sort of dent. That, if you look, if I align it perfectly to the camera, that's about, whoops, about there. This part points towards the back of the car. That. So if I align it so this piece is vertical. Oops, sorry, it's hard to wobbling around with my hand. You can see the indentations point towards the front. That is the best I can describe it. I believe the roll bar sits about that angle on the vehicle. So these are vertical. And then we've got these clips. So if I can try and bring one a little bit closer to you. So the clip has two sides. One side is rounded, you see this base is rounded. The other side is a V, or more like a V. The V touches the bottom of the car and points towards the rear. That is towards the rear. So you click it on like that. Now to click it on, what I've been using is a clamp. So a C clamp, like or G clamp, C clamp, whatever you want to call it, like that. Put it round. I won't be able to do it here because this is powder coated. I'm protecting it with two pieces of wood. Put it around like that and squeeze it together. And there's little teeth here that click over the metal, and that'll hold it in place. I've done this one on this side. I can move it across without scratching it. You can just see it's a lot harder to move around now. I can rotate it, but it's a lot stiffer. You can just see hopefully how it's sort of clicked over there. I'll try and clamp this one up right in front of your eyes so you can see. So the clamp's open at the moment. Well, calling this the clamp actually. I know I'm holding a clamp as well, just to make it more confusing. What I want to do then is get that, put a little bit of masking tape on that side, and that side I'll touch with the plastic. This top side I'm going to put my wood bit in, and the first little bit of this is basically going to be squeezing it back into shape because it's been opened up and the metal sort of bent out of shape. So first of all I just want to pull it in. You can see I'm not the best at doing this sort of stuff, to be honest. So that's just sort of winding it back together. I can hold it. It's very, it's quite tricky to do, to be honest. There we are. Right. So the clamp's winding back together now. Clip. Let's call it a clip, and then I won't get confused. And now all I do, I just keep winding it, and in a second, it should. I guess it's already done it. Didn't really ping that time. Yeah. Okay, that's on. The last time I did this, it sort of pinged together, and the important thing is to orientate it the right way. If I got this upside down, it'd either be pointing to the back, or I'd have to mount it upside down on the car, which is obviously not going to work, and I've got to try and take it off again. But I believe that is done correctly. Let's try and get that back on the car now. Right, I think it's worth me recording this. Sway bar. I'm going to try and thread it over the transmission and get it in position. What I've done is, and I'll give you a little zoom in so you can see, but I've dropped the transmission about 5 to 8 mil, I guess, by undoing the 6 bolts, 2 here, 1 there, 1 in the other side of the transmission, and the 2 on the far side. I've got a trolley jack underneath just to catch it, just to make sure it doesn't fall too far. And actually, while I've been doing all this work and having everything powder coated, I've had it sort of on a wood block just so it can't move at all. But enough rambling, let's see if we can thread this in. I've got the bushes on, which might turn out to be a mistake, I don't know. But we're going to find out. So, as you know how I roll, I've not tried to do this before. I've literally just sat down and give it a stab. And it's never quite as easy as you think, is it, this stuff? Let's have a look. There's a few wires and things that go over the top of the transmission. I'm trying to thread between, but that's over there. I'm just rotating the bushing now. So look and see how far off I am. So if I just pull it. Okay, so it's not that. It's caught on the of course, it's never that easy. I can lift it up with my foot. Okay, right, hopefully I can drop the transmission more, but obviously I'd rather not. I don't enjoy dropping it. Just trying to move the bushing back in. As I've pushed it, it's sort of slid along a little bit. What I don't tell you is I've just painted this black, so I've got all black paint down my arm now, but I was going to keep quiet about that. Right, I finally got there. What I actually did in the end was drop the transmission even more, and I dug out this extra long bolt as a safety bolt. So I've removed the original bolt, wound this in. This is, you know, a good couple of inches longer, just in case as I undo the remaining sort of fastenings, if it's suddenly dropped, it will get caught here. I do have a trolley jack underneath it as well, so it should be fine, but that was just sort of just in case. Anyway, that was enough for me to get the bushing over with its sort of bracket clip, whatever you want to call it. So now all I need to do is sort of maneuver it past the battery live terminal, and we're good to go. Finally got the anti-roll bar sort of in, and well, it's not torqued up, it's tightened up. And I've done up the bolts that hold the cross member on. I also gave the, I don't know what this is called, probably a lower control arm. That's just had a lick of paint. It's not ideal. Ideally I'd have the whole thing off, renew those bushes as well. The truth is I can't get one of the bolts undone, so I've just left it because I don't want to go breaking it. When the bushes go, then we'll face back and sort of undo it, and it's fine. But we are making good progress now. I can't really record much of this. I'm trying to sort of zap through it quickly to get it all back on the road, and it's pretty tricky getting it recorded. But the next stop will be, I've got new, these arms, I forgot what they're called at the moment, they drop links. I've got new drop links to go back on. That was actually more economical than replacing the bushes, fun enough, especially if this drop link's bent. So I got 2 new drop links on there. The actual hubs themselves I've cleaned up with a wire wheel, so they'll be a little bit cleaner, and it can all start going back together. What I do need to do is reassemble those the struts, you know, the spring damper and everything. Right, I'm not going to get any more done this week. Anti-roll bars on. As you could tell, that took some time. I was reluctant to keep dropping the cross member because I didn't know how far down I can go without the whole thing falling off. And my trolley jack is playing up a little bit. It doesn't seem to actually lift anything anymore. So I need to have a look at that, see if I need to replace it. I'd really like one of the really big ones, you know, the ones about that long with big handle on the end. Or some quick jacks at some point, or 4-post lift if we're dreaming. I might have to take the ceiling out to do that. Anyway, anti-roll bar on, CV joints all stripped apart. That's looking really good. They just need packing, which should be a pretty straightforward job. And I've got all of the parts back from the powder coating, as you saw. Did you see? You didn't see, I didn't show you that. They're all back. So in the next video, I can start assembling everything in earnest, get it all back together and we get back on the road. Anyway, let's leave it there this week. Click the like button, subscribe please, leave me some comments, and I'll see you next time.